It was one of those moments that nobody really saw coming. When Marie Monroe showed up to visit Latrice Rogers, it felt like a calm wave after years of stormy tension. The two women, who had shared laughter, tears, and plenty of shade in the past, were finally standing face to face again. The energy in the room wasn't heavy or tense like before. It was light, easy, almost playful, something fans of Belle Collective weren't used to seeing between these two strong personalities. Latrice, busy as ever with her new building and her hair business growing faster than ever, seemed caught off guard when Marie suddenly appeared. Marie looked confident, collected, and, surprisingly, peaceful. Latrice greeted her with that mix of surprise and humor that always comes naturally to her. "This is so unexpected," Latrice said, smiling as if she couldn't believe what she was seeing. "I know," Marie replied with a smirk. "I was in the area and needed some rinse. My hair's short, girl, I don't need no hair now." That quick banter reminded everyone of what used to make their interactions so entertaining. It was that mix of shade and humor, friendly but bold, that made fans love and laugh at their dynamic. Latrice, never one to miss a moment to clap back, teased right back, saying, "Baby, we know you bald-headed." And the two burst into laughter. It was a rare sight. Two women who had been on opposite ends of drama for so long were now joking, laughing, and sharing light-hearted energy in the same room. Marie smiled, lifted her chin, and with her usual confidence, said, "Girl, lift that wig and that lace front off. Let's see how them edges are." The laughter filled the space, echoing like a sign that maybe things were finally shifting for the better. For once, they weren't competing, throwing shade, or defending their pride. They were simply existing together, in a moment that felt human and real. Latrice, still processing the surprise, asked softly, "What's going on?" "What?" You could tell she was genuinely surprised but also touched. "Baby, I can't believe you are here," she said with a warmth that even she didn't seem to expect. Marie nodded and replied, "I'm here to support." And just like that, everything changed. For the first time in a long while, Marie wasn't there to challenge or criticize. She was there to show genuine support. Marie continued, "You know, even though we weren't messing with each other, I was still rooting for you. I was pulling for you from afar." She smiled, and then with her signature wit, added, "Very far, honey. It was all the way in China, baby." That line made Latrice laugh again. It broke whatever invisible tension was left between them. You could tell that underneath all their disagreements and public spats, there was always some level of mutual respect, maybe even admiration. Latrice nodded, her tone soft and honest. "I know," she said. "I know." It was a short response, but it carried weight. It was acknowledgement, forgiveness, and peace all rolled into two simple words. Then Marie mentioned something that reminded everyone that life happens outside the cameras and the shade. "If you would have come to the grand opening, honey," she said, pausing a bit. Latrice nodded, waiting for the explanation. "Well, you know, I have a college student," Marie said proudly. "And my son had college day on the day of your grand opening. Of course, I had to be there to support my baby." That moment showed a side of Marie that's easy to forget when you only see the TV version, the boss lady, the outspoken one, the woman who always speaks her mind. But here, she was simply a mom, proud and protective. Latrice listened and smiled with understanding. As much as the two women had bumped heads, there was a deep understanding between them about responsibility, family, and womanhood. Marie continued, "But, you know, I'm glad I wasn't there. I heard about everything that was going on. I'm kind of glad I stayed out the way." Latrice laughed knowingly. "It wasn't you this time that ruined everything." Marie raised an eyebrow, laughed, and replied, "Yeah, yeah." For the first time, they were sharing light-hearted honesty without it turning into a dig. It was refreshing. The conversation then took a softer turn. Marie looked around and said, "This is so nice, Latrice." There was real admiration in her voice. "It is," Latrice replied proudly. "Thank you, baby. You know, you can walk around, take a look, see, look see. Marie smiled and started glancing around the space. The building was stunning, modern, elegant, full of hard work and dedication. You could see the pride in Latrice's eyes as she watched Marie take it all in. Girl, it was a long time coming, honey, Latrice said. Yes, Marie agreed. I think it took me about maybe 2 years to complete this building. Marie's eyes widened a bit. Really? She asked. Latrice nodded. Yes. Because when I say like when we got it, it was a mess. Marie laughed. Well, I know what it looked like over here, she said. Because, this is the Meadowbrook area, and I grew up in Jackson, right across. Do you know what used to be across the street? Latrice shook her head. I honestly don't know, she said. I know they said it was like a shopping mall or something. Marie's face lit up with nostalgia. It used to be McRae's. I used to come here with my grandparents. Both of my grandmothers used to shop over here. We used to, shop and hang out. It was so different then. And then, like you said, a lot of businesses shut down. A lot of buildings were run down. To see you start revitalizing everything is amazing. That right there was the moment of connection. Two women from different backgrounds, different walks of life, both hustlers, both successful in their own ways, standing together, reminiscing about how far their city had come. Marie wasn't just complimenting the building, she was acknowledging the growth, the effort, and the legacy Latrice was building. It was woman to woman, business owner to business owner, no ego, no competition, just appreciation. Latrice's face softened. Yes, girl. Yes, she said. I was so afraid to move over here in the beginning because of how the area was, but now we have like these $10-20 million condos going up right in the old parking lot of McRae's. Marie nodded, impressed. Right, she said. It's just so much they're building and doing in this area. So my property value instantly doubled. They both laughed, proud of what that meant, growth, success, and evolution. Moments like this remind everyone why Belle Collective is more than just a reality show. It's about Black excellence, about women in Mississippi redefining what success looks like, and about sisterhood that bends but doesn't completely break. Marie and Latrice have had their share of fallouts, some of them loud, public, and messy. But seeing them in this scene, you can tell that time and maturity have done their work. They may not be best friends, but they've reached an understanding that feels genuine. As they continued talking, the energy in the room became more personal. Marie admitted that watching Latrice's progress from afar made her proud. She told her how inspiring it was to see someone so young, ambitious, and determined take an old space and turn it into something beautiful. Latrice smiled and thanked her, saying that even though it wasn't always easy, she was grateful for how everything turned out. She talked about the sleepless nights, the setbacks, and how at times she felt like giving up, but seeing it all come together made every struggle worth it. Marie nodded, sharing that she could relate. She mentioned her own business journey, how people doubted her, how she had to fight through rumors, criticism, and betrayal, but she never gave up either. There was a shared silence, a mutual respect that needed no words. They both knew what it meant to build something from the ground up while people were watching, sometimes cheering, sometimes waiting for you to fail. Then Marie said something that stuck with Latrice, and probably with every viewer too. She said, sometimes it's not about who did what or who said what. Sometimes it's about showing up when people least expect you to, just to remind them that growth is real. Latrice smiled. That's real, she said softly. It was the kind of exchange that showed how much both women had matured. As Marie walked around, she noticed little touches in the salon, the decor, the wall art, the mirrors, and the energy that made the place feel alive. She complimented Latrice for the attention to detail. Latrice explained how she wanted the space to represent more than just beauty. She wanted it to be a place where women could come, feel empowered, and leave feeling better about themselves, inside and out. Marie nodded, saying that was exactly what women needed. She shared how, over the years, she learned that helping other women succeed doesn't take away from your own success. It adds to it. She told Latrice that despite their rocky past, she respected her drive and how she carried herself through everything. It was powerful to see Marie, known for her sharp tongue and tough personality, giving genuine flowers to someone she once clashed with. Latrice returned the energy with gratitude. She thanked Marie for coming and told her that she appreciated the visit more than she could express. She admitted that she didn't expect to see her walk through that door, but she was glad she did. The scene was warm, honest, and raw, not staged, not forced. Just two women finally meeting at a point of peace. Marie laughed and said, "You know me, baby. I don't hold grudges forever. I just hold them until I'm done." That line made Latrice laugh so hard that even Marie couldn't help but join in. It was the kind of laughter that washes away old wounds, maybe not completely, but enough to make room for healing. They continued to talk about the future, about the new developments coming to Jackson, about family, about life lessons. Marie talked about her son's journey through college and how proud she was. Latrice shared how her business had taught her patience and strength. Both women agreed that as much as success feels good, peace feels even better. They talked about how fame and cameras can twist things, but when the cameras turn off, what really matters is who you are and how you treat people. By the end of their conversation, there was no shade, no drama, just mutual understanding. Marie hugged Latrice before leaving, and it was genuine. Latrice hugged her back with a smile that showed relief and gratitude. Watching them part ways peacefully was something viewers didn't expect but absolutely appreciated. It was growth on both sides, emotional growth, personal growth, and maturity that comes from living, learning, and letting go. Moments like this are what keep Belle Collective real. The show is full of ambition, strong personalities, and business success stories, but it's also about forgiveness, redemption, and womanhood. Marie and Latrice proved that you can disagree, fall out, and still come back stronger, not as enemies but as women who understand that there's room for everyone to win. When Marie walked out of that building, you could almost sense that something had lifted. The old tension was gone. The energy felt lighter. Maybe this wasn't just a friendly visit, maybe it was the start of something new. A fresh chapter where both women could move forward without bitterness, where support could replace shade, and where sisterhood could finally take center stage again. In the world of Belle Collective, where every season brings new challenges, new alliances, and new drama, this simple moment between Marie and Latrice stood out. It showed what happens when two powerful women choose grace over grudges, support over competition, and maturity over pettiness. It's the kind of growth that doesn't need to be shouted, it just needs to be seen, and on this day, it was seen, clearly, beautifully, and unapologetically.